Hello everybody, today I'm going to talk about getting a cat. I have always called myself a cat lady despite never having owned a cat before because I just have so many personality traits in line with cats that I'm basically a human form of a cat. And I grew up in a household that always had dogs. Like, we fostered well over 20 dogs throughout my childhood, and so I just have always wanted a cat. And when I came to this apartment with my roommate Grace, we talked a lot about wanting a cat and whether or not we were okay being parents and stuff like that. And we finally decided to save Indy from a foster home situation. So Indy has been with us for a few months now, and it's a mixed bag of emotions to say the least. Some days are good and some days are bad, and so I thought I'd talk a little bit about some things that have happened to me and some advice that I can give to people who are either considering getting cats or are new cat owners as well. So yeah, this is a video all about my kitty cat, Indy. Woo. So when we got Indy, the one thing that we were very adamant about was having a cat that was already potty trained, because cat poo and pee is just like so smelly and awful, and we live in an apartment, and so we didn't want to, since it's such a small space, basically, we didn't want there to be accidents everywhere and then our entire apartment smelled like cat pee forever. So we made sure that Indy was potty trained before we decided to adopt her. However, the other thing that we really wanted, we ended up not going with because Indy is not declawed, which has caused some problems because Indy is very liberal with her claw use, to say the least. If she just gently reaches out for you, chances are her claws are out, even if she's not trying to attack you. We have this couch right next to a dresser, and instead of just jumping to the dresser or jumping up on the couch and jumping to the dresser, she'll grab the couch and pull herself up with her nails. And it became a problem because, one, I kept getting scratched all the time, and two, we were really concerned about our furniture and just kind of like the safety of things in our house in general. So we got these soft paw things, which you've probably heard of if you're a cat owner who has a cat that's not declawed. They're really nice. Like, I can't even describe the difference in having a cat once it doesn't have claws, or like doesn't have claws that can hurt you. So we decided not to declaw Indy because declawing is like a pretty ethical, morally gray area when it comes to whether or not that's okay, and we decided we didn't want to put Indy through toe amputation, and we also didn't think that we had the capability to like nurse her back to health in that recovery process. So we ended up just getting the soft paws because they're easier. She does, she's attacking the curtain. She does occasionally bite them off, but we're pretty good about putting them back on her so that she doesn't learn to keep biting them off. And at least her front paws have all stayed on so far. You can tell she doesn't like them that much, but she deals with them and it works out for us. In regards to scratching and toys and stuff, our cat has ADD, like so badly. She'll be playing with one thing for 3 seconds and then just completely walk away and do something else. And the one thing that she definitely loves, like all cats do, is a laser pointer. You cannot get her to stop when you put the laser pointer on. And I think she's gotten to the point where she knows what it looks like, so when she sees it in her hand, she's automatically like looking around. The one piece of advice that I have for you in regards to laser pointers is that if you have a cat, you should put a treat at the end of the line so that when they finally catch the laser, they have something to actually catch and they don't get paranoid and attack curtains like this. Definitely every time we didn't put a treat at the end of it, she would get really freaked out and for the next 20 minutes be looking around all weirded out. Another thing that I definitely recommend is scratching posts. We got this really awesome one that comes in the shape of a triangle that she loves playing with. In fact, when she's in our rooms and we like walk up to her, she runs out, grabs the post and acts like she's been clawing it the entire time. It's a really funny interaction that we always have with her, but she really likes the scratching post, and the awesome thing about it is that it was pretty cheap. I think it was like $32, but it comes in a triangle, so there's lots of different angles for her to get at, and right now she's been scratching at the top 2 parts of the triangle, but the cool thing is it can rotate like 3 different times, so she can really get the most usage out of it, which is why I really like that one, and I will definitely be repurchasing it. So I'll probably put the link in the description bar down below. We also got her one of the scratchy things with the ball around it, which at first she was not super excited by. And eventually she got into this habit of only playing it when we watch Netflix out here, which is really annoying, but at least she's using it, so like, it's a mixed bag. In regards to playing toys and getting Indy to actually like her toys, we used catnip. Catnip, if you're not familiar with that, is like pot for cats. It makes them really happy. But different cats can have different reactions to it, and what we've kind of really noticed around Indy is that when we give her catnip, she becomes very aggressive. Like if you try to pet her, she'll like go for you because, I don't know, she just gets kind of angsty and PMSy when she's on catnip. So definitely like try it out for your cat and see what happens. Sometimes they go really crazy and run around. Sometimes they get really lazy. It just kind of depends on your cat. In terms of energy, Indy is still pretty much a kitten. She's around 7 months right now, maybe turning 8 in February, but she likes to run around a lot. And it's really funny because, like I said, she uses her claws for everything, so she doesn't just run, she like grabs the carpet and pulls herself and propels herself around the apartment. She's also kind of skittish sometimes, so like if you just walk up to her or move in a specific way, she'll like dart across the room, and she's just really weird and spazzy, to say the least. But other times, people will come over and she's super lazy and chill, and she'll sit on the couch with us and watch Netflix a lot, and she really likes to cuddle too. She is so sweet. The one thing that I just really wish was different though is that she was like one of those cuddle on demand cats. She cuddles when she wants to and does not cuddle at other times, so I don't know. There's not really a way to predict that, I guess, when it comes to looking for cats, because Indy was really cuddly when we found her, which was really cute and adorable, and then we got her home and she was really spazzy, but overall she's a good mix of the two, so it's kind of fun. In terms of keeping Indy in check, we have started using the water bottle spray technique. We have 3 of them throughout the house, one in my room, one in Grace's, and one in the living space. And anytime she gets up on anything we don't want her to, or she starts biting at her soft paws, we spray her with the water, and it irritates her enough that she stops, but obviously like it doesn't hurt her or anything. So I think it's a really good substitute to some of the other practices out there about disciplining cats. It works pretty well, yeah. When it comes to feeding Indy, this is something that I would say Grace and I are not super well educated on. I read about it when we first got her. I was like, how much do you feed a 6-month-old cat, kitten, whatever? And a lot of the things said you just kind of feed them when they're hungry. So Indy started off on wet food when we got her because that's what she was raised on, and we kept that up for a little bit and then eventually switched to a dry food, which she is eating right now. I don't know if you can hear that. But we switched to a dry food because Indy wasn't fully eating her wet food, and so a lot of it was going to waste, and also it can't really sit out that long before it goes bad. So we just switched to the dry food because it was easier, and she had a really nice transition to it, so it works pretty well for us. We can just leave it and she can eat it at her own pace, which she definitely does eat throughout the day. Not really like a one-day feeding type of thing like it's always been for my dogs, which has been a shift for me, but it's fine. She's really messy about eating, and I don't know how to fix it. It's just there's literally cat food over here. Her bowl is over there, about like 7 feet from me, and there's cat food everywhere. And I don't know how it gets around, but it does. Another thing that Indy is very messy with is her litter box. The biggest downside to getting a cat was having litter all over our apartment. And we kind of like fixed it in a few ways, and so now I'm going to tell you a really disgusting and also life-changing story for me because it was very stressful. When we first got Indy, she was pretty good about the litter box. Like, she was completely potty trained and she never had any accidents until we decided that the litter wasn't masking the odor enough, and we were going to do one of those tough fighting odor like kitty litters that she did not like. It would not touch it. Like, you could hold her over it and she would like freak out and run away. And I remember I got back after like 2 days being at my boyfriend's place, and she had peed on my bed 3 times and peed on the floor a few times, and it just was a disaster. And I was like, okay, well, I gotta fix this. But the problem was Grace was leaving town for a week for Christmas, so I was gonna have to deal with Indy by myself for a week, and I got really overwhelmed, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get new litter. So I put her in my bathroom, and I took everything out, like off the floor. I took out the trash so she couldn't mess with it, and I went for 15 minutes to PetSmart to get new litter and change the litter box. And when I came back, she had diarrhea on my little floor mat, which I left in there so she had something to lay on. She had torn down all of my like towels that I had hanging up, and basically just ruined anything she could get access to. She pulled a tile off the wall. Like, she was a wreck, and I was bawling. And I was really stressed out because she wasn't liking the new litter either. And we knew that we needed to figure out some way to, like, you know, to kind of get odor protection and also find something that Indy liked. So I did what any stressed out mom would do, and I locked my cat in my bathroom again with absolutely nothing except her food, water, and her litter box. And after a day of being stuck in there, she was completely fine, and she had used her litter box, and ever since then she's been using her litter box and is completely fine. But it was an absolutely terrifying nightmare that I would 10 out of 10 never recommend to anyone else. The next problem came about pretty quickly in the sense that Indy likes to kick around in her litter box, and she also likes to trail it with her around the house. We have this litter box that has a sifter in it, so we don't have to like scoop out individual clumps. So it's basically like a box, a sifter, and then another box, and you just dump it out. It's really nice in terms of, you know, just cleaning out the litter box is a 1 person to 2 person job, and it's really easy. On the other hand though, it doesn't have any walls or ceilings, so she can just kick that stuff everywhere. So we have like this little console wooden piece of furniture that we had prior to getting Indy that we put her litter box in. And eventually we just got so sick of walking in the front door and immediately stepping on a bunch of litter. So we built like a little door of chipboard with a cutout for her that we could open and close to get access to the litter box. But it's really nice because now she goes in there, kicks around, does her business, and then when she comes out, it's not as bad. Like, there's still litter around the house, but it's not nearly as bad as there was before. So if you have one of those litter boxes that are similar to us, I recommend finding something or building something that you can put it in. And if not, just buy one of those ones that are like domes. Someone told me this really cool one where they have to enter from the top, which is cool because you can't drag it out or trail it out. It all has to stay in the litter box. They have to like jump out. So I thought that was cool, but we like the sifting technology of our litter box, so we're gonna keep it as it is. In terms of maintenance for cats, I would say overall they're pretty low maintenance if you get the right one for you, and if your lifestyle is the kind of lifestyle that kind of supports that. Growing up with dogs, we always had to feed them like 2 times a day, every day, and we had to be there. And like, if I lived in an apartment with a dog, I would have to be there to take it on a walk every however many hours to make sure that they get to go to the bathroom. But the nice thing with the cat is that it all kind of happens on their own. Like, we don't really have to bathe Indy, we don't have to take her out to go to the bathroom, and feeding her is pretty nice because we can just leave her ample amounts of food and water, and we could go away for a weekend and she'd be completely fine. So I think it's a really good choice for lots of people who live in apartments and who go to college. The one thing though that you need to know is that getting a cat is like a lifelong investment. There are so many cats out there that when you decide to get rid of your cat or rehome it, it's pretty hard to do because there's just so many. And unfortunately, a lot of cats to go to shelters get euthanized, and that's really sad. So basically, if you decide to get a cat, please really think about it before you do. And if you do, please rescue a cat rather than buying a bred cat. All cats are great, so you can definitely find what you want if you go to your local shelter and ask around and make some good connections. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helped you with all of your cat questions. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye!